Welcome back into the Enrichment Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Tennova Healthcare. Bones, joints, ligaments, tendons, muscles, nerves. Tennova's orthopedic specialist can handle anything from a pulled muscle to a broken bone to a joint replacement. And if you do need something that big, they can handle it with a minimally invasive surgery, which isn't easy to say. Trust Tennova, folks. I've told you before. I'll tell you again. I trust them. I trust them with my life. They saved my life. They can certainly save you if you need any kind of orthopedic care. Give them a call, Tennova Healthcare. Check them out. They got locations all over East Tennessee. All right, back with Jimmy, Bob, and David. I just want to remind everybody what we're doing here today. We got 11 topics in honor of South Carolina's former number 11 ranking nationally until Tennessee beat them. We're on to topic number 4 here, all right? Steve Spurrier gets too cute. We were talking about the old ball coach in the last segment. If we were in Columbia today doing this show, I think he'd be getting the brunt of the whipping. Twice in the closing minutes, he wasted timeouts while toying with the idea of going on 4th down deep in his own end, and it came back to bite him. Thoughts on his decision? Did you have a problem with it at the time? Did you see what he was doing, or did you think he's lost his mind?
It's a great decision because we won. Now, if we're looking at it from the Gamecock perspective, I think I can understand, using one of those. You get out there, you want to see what the formation is, and if you like it, you're going to run a play. If not, you're calling your timeout and you're just going to punt it. But the fact that he did it twice, I don't know what you've got to make a decision there, and the fact that he goes with 2, thank you. Appreciate it, Steve.
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't know that it would have come back to make a difference, but you can be sure he would have rather had those timeouts in his pocket. Tom Luganbill, who was the sideline reporter for ESPN yesterday, said that he was standing there watching Dylan Thompson come off the sideline, kind of smiling, laughing, that they knew they weren't going to run it. They were just toying with Tennessee.
Yeah, well,
I came back to bite you.
I actually thought that Steve Spurrier might have gone for it because there's a few coaches out there who will make that kind of decision.
Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick. I mean, Les Miles might make that kind of decision. But, your Nick Saban, no, he's not going to do that sort of thing. So I thought Spurrier and his mindset and some of the things he's done in the past, he very well could have gone for it right there because when you're at the level of respect that he gets, then you make a mistake like that, you're going to survive it.
I think you compare what he did to what Butch Jones did in the first half. You got a man wide open, a guy that's uncovered for South Carolina. Jones and his staff calls a timeout, saves what would have been a long gain at the very least, and then you get Spurrier, and you're Mr. Timeout. I know that was a goofy thing for him to do, I thought.
I thought it was very, very strange.
I could see one with either an effort to see if there's what the formation is or to draw him offside.
Yep.
And he wasn't at the line long enough to do that.
He wasn't. But then to come back with the second one, I thought that could bite you because you don't know when or if Tennessee's going to score. But if they do, then you want to have a timeout in your pocket to use, and he did. And I did not think that was good game management.
He's also regressed as a play caller, I think. One of the things that has made him special at South Carolina is he realized, I can't throw it every down. I've got Marcus Lattimore. We're going to win with run game and defense. This year, I don't know if he's become more in love with Connor Shaw, or is it the fact he just doesn't trust Davis the way he did Lattimore. He continually tries to throw the ball, gets out of rhythm, winds up in the second half trying to run the thing and catch up that way. They had a little bit of space there in that second half where they caught up and passed Tennessee when they were running the ball more. I think he hurts himself by just being the old ball coach and wanting to throw the ball more. I think he did Tennessee a favor on that side of things too.
Now, Arkansas might say he did a pretty good job. However, against Tennessee, I thought he was going to run more zone read. Yeah. I did. I thought that was going to be open. They ran a really nice option pitch that was wide open to Mike Davis. So I was surprised at that. And the one thing that happened so often was that South Carolina was faced with 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, 3rd and 10. That's one reason they only converted 4 out of 14.
Yeah. And we'll show those a little later in some stats that we've got. One interesting thing, Steve Spurrier joked this week that he's coached more games at Neyland Stadium than some of Tennessee's head coaches. That got Bob Hodge to do some ciphering. And we think, we may be wrong here, but we think he may be the biggest loser. He may be the biggest loser in Neyland Stadium history. Bob, you went back and checked it and compared him to. There aren't that many people who've coached at Neyland Stadium as a visitor so many times.
You had to be in the game a long time. You had to make a lot of trips to Neyland Stadium, and when I found out the guys who were in the mix, Bobby Dodd, Shug Jordan, I always want to say Jordan, Bear Bryant, Johnny Vaught, and McGugan
Dan
at Vanderbilt.
McGugan.
Dan McGugan, can't remember his name. And none of them lost more than 5 games at Neyland Stadium. So that put Spurrier, he came in the biggest loser, and he just added to it yesterday. So 7 losses, no other visiting coach, as far as what I found, has lost that many games.
David, guard the champagne before Bobby comes over here and grabs it at that. Let's turn this around, and we do have a buzzkill alert here. A little bit of a buzzkill. There are going to be some nitpicks today, and this is upset special number 5, topic number 5. Tennessee's handling of Jadeveon Clowney. He exploded for some big plays yesterday, some big plays that he hasn't been making so far this season. Looked better against Arkansas, but he was taking over the first half yesterday, or certainly the first quarter. Tiny Richardson seemed to be a little too amped up, got a hands-to-face call a little late in the game. At times, UT ran Clowney's direction a lot. They didn't do that in the second half. They got smart. They used, well, I'm just going to let you. You're the former offensive lineman. What were you thinking?
Yeah, okay, so from a player's perspective, and a coach comes in and says, hey, this is their best player, this is one of the best players in the country, we're going after him, you get excited. Now, stepping back, looking at it rationally, he is a fantastic player.
Yeah.
Don't run at him. I mean, we saw some stuff where the zone read, where we're reading Clowney. Clowney can cover both of those guys. He has the physical capabilities of doing that. They did it, they didn't do it again. So they learned from that mistake. But, running at him, running away from him, that's fine. He seems to get a little frustrated with that. So when he's kind of getting upset and you're getting him out of his rhythm, earlier in the year, teams weren't going to go after him. And you saw the production go down. He still made some good plays. But, I don't necessarily agree with going right at him just because he is such a fantastic player, and there's no debating that.
You left a lot of times. It's going to be quick, but game plan-wise, I know you and I were texting yesterday. You had tight ends trying to block him, pulling guards trying to get over there to get on him, which he was already blown by them by the time they got there. Your thoughts on the game plan?
Well, Tiny got whipped. He couldn't block. Tiny said that Clowney was freelancing a lot, and so he wasn't sure where to go with him on trying to block him. But he had Tiny's number. Tiny had 3 penalties and should have had a 4th. I didn't think he played very well at all, but I was surprised that Tennessee was going at Clowney at times. You stay away from him because you never know when he's going to play hard on the play, but when he decides to play a play, look out. And he was dominant, I thought, for the first half.
Bob, I don't know that Tiny Richardson helped his draft stock much yesterday.
No, but the caveat to that, I agree with you, but the caveat is you were going against the guy when he plays hard, plays well, is probably the best in several years.
The thing that was crazy about Richardson looking so fired up was he owned Clowney last year. If there was anybody that went into that game with something to prove, it should have been Clowney, and he proved it. But it looked to me like Richardson was pretty amped up, and the coaches had hinted this week that they were a little concerned about him being too amped up. Bottom line, though, Clowney left with the loss, and Richardson sitting over there basking in a victory. Yeah. So that's the end result. When we come back, speaking of basking in victory, Chuck Cavaleras, Mike Strange, Bobby Scott, Sterling Hinton is going to be here. Come on back.
You are watching East Tennessee's first and only year-round sports talk show on television.